Hey guys, it's Spaces Sims, and we are back with more Winter's Wish, continuing Tojo's route. We're still in the very beginning of Chapter 4, though, but anyway. Oh, right, I was like, I don't remember where we were. It's been a couple of days. It was Friday, and now it's Monday. Okay, right, we were at the tea party, and we heard loud noises outside, so we're running outside. So anyway, huff, huff. Anyway, panting. I hurried over in the direction of the sound, only to be greeted by a shocking sight. A blightfall was rampaging through town in broad daylight. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. No way. How could it be out in the middle of the day? Fortunately, there wasn't a single person around. It looked like everyone had fled as soon as the blightfall appeared. I took cover so the blightfall wouldn't spot me and kept tabs on the situation. Phew, looks like the blightfall still doesn't realize I'm here. With all the commotion, Tojo and the rest should be here any second. I'll just sit here and keep an eye on things until they arrive. I love you, Burbot. Your toenails are fucking killing me. I'm already a little irritated from shit today, so your toenails, I don't have the tolerance for them. I'm sorry. I held my breath while trying to soothe my racing heart, which was pounding wildly from nerves. Then I heard the faint sound of someone's hurried footsteps. It was coming from the mansion where the blightfalls seemed to have spawned. The very next second, the door flew open. Two people came running out in a hurry. The lady of the house and her servant. It doesn't even matter. I pulled my shirt up as high as I could in the neck, and he seriously pulled it down to jam his toenails into my neck. I love you, Burbot. I hate your fucking toenails. People were still trapped inside? The lady tumbled to the ground, having tripped over her own feet in her hurry to get away. When the blightfall heard the noise, it turned its gaze to her. Oh no! Oh, we're gonna go be a hero. I immediately ran from my hiding place and helped her back to her feet. Are you okay? A monster came out of nowhere and... Please, get out of here for now! That way, hurry! I handed the lady over to her servant, who was frozen with fear, and helped them escape. The blightfall, meanwhile, hadn't moved a muscle. It was glaring at me, the only person left standing there, and clearly viewed me as prey. This isn't good. I was so preoccupied with helping her that I didn't think about what I'd do after. Well, I wasn't strong enough to fight either. That said, there was no way I'd be able to run away when it already had me in its sights. In my extreme nervousness, I could feel a cold sweat run down my back. Don't worry, boyfriend will come save us. All of a sudden, the blightfall charged toward me while letting out a battle cry. I'm sorry, Bert, but you're in my fucking way. I need to get out of here! I knew this in my head, but it all happened so fast that my body wouldn't listen. It's no use. The second this thought went through my mind... There he is. I told you boyfriend would save us. Spacey! I realized Tojo was carrying me in his arms. Are you alright, Spacey? Are you hurt? I'm fine. It dawned on me that Tojo had picked me up and jumped out of the way just in the nick of time. Tominari also came running over shortly afterwards. Stay back, Spacey! The second those words left his lips, Tominari slashed at the blightfall without a moment's pause. The blightfall defended itself from his attack with one of its feelers. Tojo put me down on the ground, then immediately readied himself for battle so he could follow Tominari's lead. The rest went as you might expect. As a team, the two of them mowed down one feeler after another, overpowering the blightfall. Before long, the blightfall's front was left defenseless, its mask exposed. Tominari swung his blade down without a second's delay. Ugh, this one's surprisingly sturdy. Our attacks are working, though. Keep hacking away. I got it. Frightened by their onslaught, the blightfall attempted to attack them one more time with its feelers, but there was no stopping the two's momentum. I watched the battle from a little ways away. Wow, they're so in sync. Guess it'll all work out after all. Well, now you said that, and I feel like you jinxed it. Ah! Meanwhile, one of Tominari's blows had stopped the blightfall in its tracks for a brief second. No, Kunataka! You got it. This time it was Tojo answering Tominari's cry, swinging his sword at the Blightfall's mask. Take that! He screamed that very loud. So, however, what the? To his surprise, the Blightfall evaporated like a mirage just short of him dealing the finishing blow. Why did it disappear like that? After checking that the Blightfall had vanished completely, Tojo and Tominari sheathed their swords. Somebody who sold what's-his-face, can never remember his name, the Magatama that controls them is either sold more to other people or they are controlling them too. You know what I mean? Because, it just makes sense. You had one that could control them. You got multiple. You know a way to tether them. You know what I mean? So, it makes sense that there would be more. And either because we couldn't find the store, you couldn't find that person, that they had sold it to what's-his-face. Why can't I remember his name? Doesn't matter. He's not important. Thinking oh good, then he'll use it and I don't have to get my hands dirty. Ha! Evil plan enacted. But then he gets caught, the Blightfall gets destroyed, whatever, and they're like, all right, I guess I gotta do it. So, again, either they sold another one to somebody else, but if that person isn't running around making claims and doing crazy shit, and it seems like they're acting from the shadows right now. They let a Blightfall loose and now it's magically gone. Seems like the person who sold him, oh, I can't remember his name. But anyway, dweeby kid. Lord Yoshimune's not son sold him you know what I mean? It seems like it might be the seller guy doing it. At any rate, it's tied to that, I'm sure, so. I recall seeing one vanish like that before. Yeah, that's exactly what happened when Tanichibo summoned the Blightfall. Ah, there you go, Tanichibo. I'm like, it starts with a T, but all I could think was Tominari, and I'm like, that's not right. I approached the two of them, wary of my surroundings. Great job, you two. And Tojo, thank you so much for rescuing me earlier when I was in danger. I'm just glad you're safe. And why were you even here, though? Well, I wasn't able to get away after helping the lady who lived in this house escape. There wasn't much else I could say, since it was technically the truth, but I felt pathetic saying it out loud. Helping others, were you? And that doesn't sound like something you do, but... Oh, that does. I was like, that doesn't? That does sound like something you do. But we would have lost everything if you'd failed to escape. You need to act with your own safety in mind from now on. Understand? They're not wrong. I was only saved this time because Tojo and Tominari intervened. I'll be more careful. Sorry for making you worry. After hearing me reflect on my actions, they both smiled kindly at me. I looked back at the spot where the Blightfall had vanished. If the Blightfall you just fought is the same as the one from the Tanichibo case, well, not the same Blightfall, but acting in the same way. Because they destroyed that one by destroying the mask. So it wouldn't be the same Blightfall, but same as in is following the same type of logic, I guess is what they mean. Anyway, does that mean someone summoned it? I'm not sure. We don't have enough info. Hard to deny the possibility after seeing it vanish the exact same way, though. It wasn't nearly as big as the Blightfall from before, though. It was also quicker and lighter on its feet. Yeah, either way it feels very unnatural. Something's up here. What really happened? It's making me kind of uneasy. A lukewarm wind blew through as if it were trying to drive away the premonition in the pit of my stomach. Several days after a Blightfall appeared in Samurai Town in broad daylight, we discussed the current situation over at the Oniwaban base. The gathering included Kyoshiro, Kuga, Yoichi, as well as Tojo, Tominari, and myself for a total of 6 people. It's kind of funny because it's interesting with Samurai Town, we're working with the other, but we don't, the Entertainment District peeps are, off on their own, you know? It seemed like there was a reason the Castletown duo was here too, even though the incident occurred in Samurai Town. Okay, because I was wondering, we don't have, it's not we have everybody because it could impact everybody. It's we just have Castletown, I couldn't remember I'm we just have those two, but not Entertainment Boys? Okay, So that makes sense. They're going to be like, there's a reason for it. I gotta learn to just keep my mouth shut because the game keeps explaining. I'm like, well, this doesn't make sense because whatever. And then the next line is, there is a reason for this. Should know this by now. As you already know, the first Blightfall was only the beginning. Several days ago, another one made an appearance in Samurai Town. It's fairly unique compared to other Blightfall we've seen in that it appeared in broad daylight. Oh, we should have taken down that one that got away in the beginning. What's done is done. And more importantly, we need to focus on working out a plan. A tough ask. What are we to do when they just vanish into thin air before we can land the finishing blow?
Gendro and I haven't actually fallen before. How do you take down a Blightfall like that?
I also find it odd they're only appearing in Samurai Town.
Well, given the circumstances, let's clear someone summoning them, just like Tanichibo did. The fact that Samurai Town's the only area being targeted means there's a strong possibility the culprit has some kind of motive behind all this.
I mean, doesn't it make logical sense that they would have a motive for summoning the Blightfall, period, regardless of, like, the fact that they're only in Samurai Town means they have a motive for summoning Blightfall. I'm pretty sure if you're summoning Blightfall, you have a motive. Even if that motive is just chaos. Still a motive. You know, just feel like fucking around, feeling bored, it's Tuesday. Those are all motives. I mean, those are all reasons. I guess not really a motive, but still, you know, like, most of the houses being targeted also belong to famous samurai families. Houses being destroyed are the least of their problems. Family members, even the daimyos, are still inside when the mansions are under attack and are gravely injured.
It's probably only a matter of time before there are casualties.
A few of the wives were so terrified they took their children and evacuated their homes.
I can see that. Hard to sleep when you're worried your house might be next.
Everyone's uneasy. Hopefully we can take care of this quickly. The fact that they spawn differently from other Blightfall we've seen before puts us at a distinct disadvantage. It's difficult to predict when they might appear, meaning the Oniwaba will sometimes be late getting there no matter what we do.
A lot and multiple could appear in different places at the same time. This clearly isn't the handiwork of a lone wolf.
Multiple enemies, no idea what their motive is. At this point in the investigation, there are far too many unknowns. And to make matters worse, Samurai Town's in chaos because Blightfall have been spawning day and night. And we need to take measures against this, and quick. True. Regardless of what measures we take, we could use some additional manpower. And that's why I've called you both in as backup. That makes sense, because they're like our next-door neighbors.
Ugh. I don't have a choice since it's an order, so I'll help.
I'll do the best I can. With Samurai Town in a state of emergency due to the concentration of Blightfall appearances there, Kuga and Yoichi came to assist as backup. Kinji and Otaro, in addition to Miyagi, took turns watching over Castletown while they were away from their post. That's what you call teamwork. I love that I can feel the camaraderie. I'd like to feel their camaraderie. You were waiting for that. You're welcome. I thought back to when I'd lived entirely on my own and was overcome with gratitude for having teammates. It's very reassuring to know you'll be assisting us. Thank you both in advance for all your help. Yoichi promptly scowled when I offered him my thanks. Oh.
Is it stuffy in here or what?
What? Yoichi, my apologies. We appreciate your help as well. Kuga bowed his head politely after chiding Yoichi. It hasn't been like this since I first came to Ito. Almost kind of takes me back. I hadn't interacted with the other groups much since being assigned to Samurai Town, so it was honestly a breath of fresh air. He might have been a bit impolite, but I kind of like how lively it is around here. I quietly brought this thought up to Tojo, who was sitting next to me. He smiled with delight, too. True. We should be positive since we got some very trustworthy people here to help. I'd seen Tojo with a grave expression, quite a bit over... I'd seen Tojo with a grave expression quite a bit over the last few days, probably because we'd let the first Blightfall get away. It was an unusual look for him. He seemed much more cheerful when looking at Kuga, though. Oh? I'm sorry, am I breaking up your bromance? I'm glad he's cheered up a bit. As a vessel, he didn't really have those kinds of ups and downs, but it did worry me to see him look blue. It's kind of like they still have like personalities and emotions. It's just not very intense. It's still, you know what I mean? Because it's kind of like, oh, as a vessel, he doesn't really have highs and lows. Like, but I mean, he does look kind of down. So like, it could, instead of being like, man, I'm bummed out we didn't get it. It's more like, I'm concerned we didn't get that. You know what I mean? But it's still like, you still have thoughts and feelings. I mean, like thoughts, obviously, but you still have some kind of feelings. It's just not super intense emotions like normal people, you know? In that sense, I was very thankful for Yoichi and Kuga's assistance, especially because Yoichi's such a bitch to us, so you gotta have some kind of emotion going there to be that much of a bitch, you know? The only one that's almost truly void of emotion is Kyoshiro. He's like he's a robot. He is like, he just mimics human behavior sometimes, but the rest of them actually have kind of like normal, like very maybe lessened human emotions. They're not going to get intensely angry or like fall passionately in love with me yet. But like, you know, I mean, Tominari is a little bit jealous. He just doesn't come. He's like, why does this bother me? Anyway, like, you know, but he gets jealous, so having you around is greatly reassuring, Genjiro. He'll be a huge help. You think so? A bit of an exaggeration, no? No, we love you. I don't think so. We'll be counting on you too, Yoichi. Thanks for coming to help. Yeah, you're welcome. I mean it, though. It sounded like Tojo was cracking a joke, but I could tell he really did trust Yoichi. Well, he is a Disney princess, the grumpy, crotchety kind, but he seems to trust Kuga a lot more, though. It was kind of heartwarming to see the trust in his eyes when he looked at Kuga. Are we interrupting this romantic moment? I mean, I love it. You have a lot of faith in Kuga, don't you? I guess so. Genjiro and I were awakened as vessels the same year. It's probably why I feel a kinship with him. Aww, you're like brothers. He was awakened a few months after me. I suppose that's why I'm older than Kunitaka on paper. A few months hardly counts. Huh? But it's true. I was awakened first. They're, oh, I love them. I laughed quietly watching them go at it. What's so funny? Oh, sorry. You just sounded so much like brothers, I couldn't help myself. Told you they're brothers. They must not have expected me to say that. Tojo and Kuga looked at each other, puzzled. No one's ever said that before, but... brothers, huh? Although surprised, Tojo didn't seem to dislike it. Kuga was also smiling slightly. They're so cute. They're all little robots. Kyoshiro's the most robot of the robots, but these are like his like robot human half-breed babies in a way. You know what I mean? Like, he is 100% robot where he is just like, what? I stated fact. Like, he has no fucking clue. And the rest of them are like very good at like acting like a human and having like subtle emotions. You know what I mean? Even though their hearts are locked away, but they still act like people and they still have like, it concerns me. Or like, hey, we're like brothers. I like that. That's cute. You know what I mean? Like, so they still have feelings, you know, but they're still robots. They have the beginning stages of emotion chips. You know what I mean? It's like, they're like, I understand. This is amusing. And it's like, you get it though. And like, Kyoshiro's over there like, that was a joke. And you're like, yes, but you didn't find it funny. I do not have an emotion chip. Like, you know what I mean? They're like half human, half robot. They're like, ugh. But it's so cute. Seeing their reaction made me look even more made them look even more like brothers to me.
After a little while, I went to the veranda by myself. Despite having discussion about it, we ended up going our separate ways without deciding on a concrete course of action. And what we settled on was next time a Blightfall spawned, we were to rush to the scene, play it by ear, and take the opportunity to gather as much information as we could. In other words, no different from what we were doing before. Winging it means I'll really have to think on my feet. I know I won't get specific instructions without a plan in place, but what should I do? This'll be hard. Chirp! Kamame's chirp of protest snapped me back to my senses. Sorry. Hang on just a little bit longer. I was so wrapped up in my own thoughts that I paused in the middle of getting Kamame's rice ready. When I went back to preparing her food, Kamame hopped down the veranda, chirping like that had brightened her back up. She's so cute. You love rice, don't you, Kamame? Chirp! Right. I'm pretty sure we have some extra spinach, too. Would you like some? Chirp! You don't want any? You'd rather have rice? Same with my bird and vegetables. You're like, you need your vegetables, and he's like, fuck that shit. That's not true. He likes carrots, though. But he doesn't like green things. You, strangely, are like your grandpa. He didn't like green things either. Did not like pickles. You don't like pickles. You're like, pickles are gross. I know, it's very weird. Pickles are delicious. You don't particularly like lettuce or anything. No, you don't. But you'll eat carrots. You definitely like any kind of carbs. You're not supposed to have breads and stuff, but you love them. You love the breads, and you like rice and noodles. Yeah, you like your noodles. And you're a whore for peanut butter. Jesus. I swear to God, I was like, every time I'm like, you're going to choke with how fast he inhales peanut butter. He is going to fucking choke one of these days. And I don't know how to give birds Heimlich maneuvers, okay? You're going to choke to death. So, like, good Lord. But he is just ridiculous when it comes to peanut butter. That's not a vegetable, though. But you like carrots. You'll sometimes eat corn. You don't really care for other things. He's very picky about your food. You like the food that you're not supposed to have. Anyway. Chirp, chirp! While I smiled fondly at Kamame and her spirited responses, I was thinking about the Blightfall. Once I'm done feeding her, I think I'll head back out and gather intel. Maybe I'll find something useful. Just then I saw someone from inside the house coming towards me. I was like, Tojo, obviously, but I clicked the button and he showed up before I could say it. Hey, Spacey. Oh, Tojo. This was a bit of a surprise, since the Oniwaban hardly ever came here except to give their reports. Wait, do we live with Kyoshiro? Does he live here? Because I think we should share a room and a bed. Mind if I sit next to you? Absolutely not. Of course, you're welcome to. I meant I absolutely don't mind, not absolutely not don't sit next to me. That's not what I meant. Excuse me, then. Kamame hid behind me when Tojo sat down. I looked back over at Tojo, smiling with strained amusement at Kamame's reaction to him. You hardly ever come here. Did something happen? Oh, was there something else you needed to pass along from the discussion we had earlier? I asked, wondering. Tojo shook his head. Nah, nothing like that. If you must know, I came here to see you. I'm flattered. Wait, me? Yeah, I figured with everything that's happened recently, you probably had a lot on your mind. You're so smart. Apparently, he'd come to check on me. He might have just been looking out for me as an Oniwaban colleague, but it still made me genuinely happy that he cared about me. I know when he's like, I came here to see you, you're like, oh, I could blush. Thank you so much. It's definitely been challenging dealing with this Blightfall, but I've been doing just fine otherwise. Everyone's so kind to me. I need to pull myself together and be someone you can all rely on, too. A strange smile crossed his lips when I gave this enthusiastic response. You're plenty reliable already. In fact, we've been ignoring you because you're so dependable. We haven't been paying much attention to anything besides work since bringing you to Ito, especially not your living situation.
No need to worry about that. You're like, I was living in a rundown house on a snowy mountain alone, and I'm lucky the roof didn't cave in on me. You literally moved me from a shack into a mansion. What's there to complain about? I mean, if you mean living situation because, like, no one's here and it's lonely, she's used to it. It's not like she went from a big family to, like, nobody. She went from nobody to, like, nobody. Nobody in a small space to nobody in a big space. I mean, I guess nobody in a big space feels a little more lonely because there's just more space, you know? But still, I'm actually living much more comfortably than I ever did when I lived in the mountains by myself. I'm very grateful. See? Really? Well, good. If you ever need anything, just speak up. Will do. He's such a nice guy. Sure. Kamame popped up out of nowhere, perhaps drawn in by the friendly and relaxed vibe between us, and looked me in the face. Oh, how have you been, Kamame? Doing good? Chirp, chirp! My voice is a little broken, so I can't chirp the way I normally do. That's why it sounds strained. The second Tojo reached out to her, Kamame chirped menacingly at him from behind. It was chirp! It was an angry chirp. Okay. Hey! Kamame! I hurriedly scooped Kamame up. She would have attacked him if I hadn't. Yeah, it's very bird-like. Man, she hates me. Despite laughing, Tojo looked a bit disheartened as he pulled his hand away. What were you? Were you a cat toy in your past life? What object did you pop out of? Because I feel like, I wonder if that has something to do with it. You know what I mean? Like why she hates him. I should have known. She always acts this way towards me. Because it's like, poor Tojo, like, it's not, like, you know what I mean? Animals hate you. That's not a good thing. Meanwhile, Yoichi's a grumpy bitch, and he's a Disney princess. It is kind of funny, though. I do like it. Aw, Tojo looks so sad. I mean, to be fair, birds are assholes. So, it's not like a dog hates you. You know what I mean? Like, dogs generally like everybody. Unless it's like a very timid dog or an abused dog or like extenuating circumstances. Most dogs are like, oh, human. Okay. You know what I mean? Like, the average dog pretty much likes everybody unless you got really bad vibes. You know? Cats, a little more picky about people and a little more wary. A dog will be like, you're my best friend now. And it's like, I just met you and this is weird. You're across the street and that's your owner. Why am I your best friend now? Like, you know, cats are a little more discerning, but still generally will be like, all right, maybe you're okay. And I've decided I'm going to sit on your face now. You know what I mean? And you're like, okay, I was laying on the couch and now you're sleeping on my head. Okay, great. Fun times. You know, and especially if you're like, nah, I'm not into cats, then they're all over you. Because cats are dicks. Let's be real, okay? I like cats, but they're dicks. Birds are just assholes. Birds are like cats, but like amped up. Like, I say this as someone whose bird is jammed under my throat and never leaves me alone and is a whore. And likes almost fucking everybody. But it is very much one of those, don't you dare try to fucking touch him. If you try to reach out and pet him, he will bite you. Everyone does this. And my friend used to come over and try to pet him. I'm like, just don't. She's like, he hates me. I'm like, because you're trying to pet him. If you just sit down, especially if you have food, he'll be all over you in like 4 fucking seconds. He is very much like the ignore him and then he's all over you. My bird. But like a lot of birds are assholes. You're like, oh, that's a cute bird. And they're like, they just fly at you. He kept attacking my sister at Christmas. She's just sitting on the couch and he would just go attack her hair. I don't know why. It was just kind of funny. And Aunt Baby gave you some of her apple pie, too. She let you sit on her plate. She let your dirty bird feet sit on her plate and eat her apple pie, and then you attacked her hair. Like, birds are dicks. Even mine, he does it, and you're like, that was a dick move. Like, sometimes he's just an asshole, so. This is a bird trait. Anyway. Kamame seemed to have zero interest in him, preening herself in my hands. Well, I got a long road ahead of me here. Hoping to persuade her otherwise, I brought her up to eye level in my hands. Don't be like that, Komame. You owe him your life, you know. Twice over. 'Cause he found her injured and he took care of her, and he saved her from the snake. She looked the other way when I chided her, almost like she understood what I was saying. Also a bird dick move. They'll be like, not listening. Oh, Komame, why do you hate him so much? I know why. I treated her wounds just after taking her into my care. I made sure to apply a salve to them every single day. Although it's very effective, the salve also stings. With day after day of that, she learned to recognize me as the guy who does things that hurt her. Yeah, but birds are smart and stupid at the same time. So that is like, yeah, that's a bird being stupid, but also birds are smart and they know this hurts, you hurt me, but this is helping me. You're helping me. You know what I mean? Really? After everything you did to help her recover? Sparrows don't know what salves or treatments are. No, but like, birds aren't as dumb as you give them credit for. Although, again, sometimes they have the brain of like a grain of rice. Sometimes there's only one brain cell going on in there and it's just bouncing around and it has no clue what's happening. And then other times it's like, you're way too smart for your own fucking good. It really just depends. Just depends. Is the one brain cell asleep and the other one's active, or are the two brain cells going at it together? Because if the two brain cells are on, ching ching, it's like full on genius mode. And you're like, this is disturbing how smart you are. You know? And then 2 seconds later, you're like, did you just literally fall off the couch like an asshole? And I'm like, my bird today was flying into the kitchen. I don't know why he decided to fly into the kitchen. He was trying to land on the counter and he just missed. And he, like, is on like the corner of the counter, like, you know, where my countertop curves. And he just, like, fell on the, and I'm like, you're kind of stupid. Like, how the fuck did you miss that? It's not a moving target. Like, idiot just missed the counter. Like, okay, stupid. So, you know, only one brain cell working at that time. But I can't help that she's wary if she thinks that I'll do something else to hurt her. Despite saying there was nothing he could do, he still seemed a bit disappointed by it. I could see where Komame was coming from, but I also felt bad leaving Tojo to mope because she hated him so much. Isn't there something I can do? I'd love to fix her bad impression of him at the very least. But she's an animal, so she doesn't understand words. Oh, they do, though. Just then I remembered the bag of rice I'd placed on my lap. Rice, Kamame's favorite food. If all goes well, Kamame and Tojo might get along better. Which strategy should I try? You have a bag of rice sitting on your lap. Shouldn't you have cooked it for you? Shouldn't give them, like, it doesn't make them explode, but it will expand in their stomachs, and birds are pigs. So, like, that's probably where the exploding bird thing came from. Like, you know what I mean? Because, like, rice is, it does expand when it gets absorbed, but, like, birds will just fucking stuff it in. So, like, wouldn't be surprised if it killed birds because they ate too much of it. But, like, try to get Komame to approach him. Have Kunitaka feed her. I feel like it's have Kunitaka feed her. Because she's like, oh, I remembered the rice. It's her favorite food. What should I try? Seems like they're leading you. Yeah. I'm like, how is this a choice? Why did that look like the wrong answer? It says have Kunitaka feed her. That was the right answer, but it went gray. That was weird. It didn't do my green. Wait a minute. I want to see something. Can we go back? Oh, whoops, I didn't go to the right one. Well, this is weird. Okay, wait. I want to see something. Did I choose the wrong one? Oh, okay. So that did nothing. Okay. I was like, wait a minute. Oh, no, don't do that. Okay. Because when I choose, usually it was, I guess, oh, okay, you know what? I didn't notice. That makes sense. Never mind. It makes sense. That's just the tells you made a right choice, but it was just weird because it was snow falling, right? as opposed to in the common section, it's green flowers. But in the common section, it would be like the little flowers popping up so you know, oh, the green is okay, so you're getting an indicator of who you're leaning more toward. The green little flowers were Tojo, and I'm assuming Tominari's would be little gray kind of flowers popping up. So now that you're in Tojo's route, the indicator. The indicator? Wow, that was weird. The indicator that you're doing the right choice is different. I didn't notice it with checking on how to be self-sufficient. I didn't notice that it was different that last choice we made. You know what I mean? So like this one threw me because I was like, wait, why is it gray snow? Why is it snow falling? Okay. I mean, it makes sense that like in the common route, you're like, okay, we'll do green flowers for Tojo, or color A for one person, color B for the next person. So you've got a visual guide, like, you know what I mean? To know whose route you're heading toward and which choice is for who. Especially if you're not using a guide, then you can kind of go back and be like, wait, I didn't want to go that way. I wanted to do this, But it's weird that when you get into the route, they're just like, now it's all just the same. Because it kind of throws you off. So it doesn't make sense for like a user perspective, because then it's like, wait, what the fuck is happening? Because you're used to seeing it one way and now they changed it. But it does make sense for a game development perspective, because then you don't have to be like, okay, if answer is right for Tojo, then do green flowers. If it's right for Tominari, do that. Then it's like, okay, now once you're in the route, we just use the same right indicator for everybody because there's so many characters. But you already created separate ones. I mean, like, I don't know. So, but anyway, that just threw me off. So never mind. I was like, wait, huh? I mean, I assumed it was right because we used the guide, and high just seemed like more of the right answer anyway, but the indicator threw me off. Anyway, right, how about I have Tojo give her some rice? It might not work instantly, but she might eventually warm up to Tojo if he gives her rice every single day. Tojo, I had a thought just now. Then I quickly explained the idea that had just occurred to me. Do you really think it'll work? I was the one who fed her before you came along, Spacey, but she never warmed up to me. 'Cause you fed her and then you caused her pain, and then you fed her and you caused her pain, and now you'll feed her and there'll be no pain. Maybe she'll react differently this time. Why not give it a try? If you insist. Thank you. Let's hurry up and give it a shot. I handed Tojo the bag. Come on, mate. Look, I got some rice. He gently offered her some. Chirp! Look at her crazy eyes. That's how my bird looks when he sees peanut butter. Although wary of her mortal enemy, Kamame seemed to recognize he had rice, her absolute favorite food, in his hand. Chirp! Chirp! I could tell she was conflicted, scared of him, but also keen on eating the rice. Although wary, she eventually approached him with caution. If this keeps up, she might even eat rice out of his hand. Tojo also watched her expectantly. But then... Chirp! Ow, ow! Out of nowhere, Kamame started fiercely pecking at Tojo's hand. Kamame! Stop that! She continued pecking at his hand, paying no heed to my call for restraint. It seemed like Kamame was trying to make him let go of the rice, because she absolutely didn't want to eat out of his hand. She really hates his guts. I'm almost impressed. Ow, okay, I'll let go of the rice. Just don't peck me. Look at the little bird sitting on him. It's so cute. Kamame's painful attack made Tojo admit defeat and set the rice on the floor. Chirp, 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 chirp. She looks so pissed. Fucking angry face. But this didn't quite quell her anger. Kamame was now hurtling across the veranda. People didn't visit the base often, but she could get hurt if someone stepped on her by accident. I can't let her keep wreaking havoc. Yeah, good luck with that unless you put her in a cage. Birds are just going to wreak havoc. I stood up and slowly approached Kamame. Kamame, be a good girl and come back over here. Panicking, I attempted to capture her, but she nimbly evaded me. Come on. The second I tried to pivot in the other direction, my foot slipped. Uh-oh. It was my fault for going overboard. I fell backwards, head first. In this position, I couldn't even put my hands out to brace myself. I'm gonna hit my head on the ground. No, Tojo's gonna grab you. The moment the thought crossed my mind, and maybe... I was like, maybe we'll get a CG, but I don't know. Watch out! Oof. Spacey, are you okay? Did he dive under us? Yeah. I wasn't sure what had just happened, but I'd apparently avoided whacking my head against the ground. He saved me again. I only spaced out for a brief second before realizing the situation I was in, which left me all shook up. Oh, yeah, okay. Oh. I'm like, he's gonna catch us. I'm like, did he land under us? Oh, no. Look at this. How adorable. He jumped and put his hand under her head. But now he's on top of us. How sexy. Oh. Good job, game. Good job. I'd fallen onto my back and was lying on the floor. And for some reason, Tojo was sitting on top of me. Could you imagine if somebody walked around the corner now? They're like, what the fuck is going on? An onlooker would have thought he was pinning me down. Huh? What's going on? Why is he on top of me? How did this happen? Logically, we must have landed in this position by accident when I slipped and Tojo tried to help me. Right, keep it cool. He was just watching out for me. Keep it cool. Keeping cool was all but impossible while in this position, though. I can't. This is so embarrassing. Tojo showed concern for me while remaining in that risque pose, paying no heed to the inner turmoil I was going through. Phew, that was a close call. Did you hit your head? My head? I only just realized when he mentioned it. Huh? Is that a hand under my head? He'd kept me from hitting my head by cupping it in his hand. Wow, his hands are so big. Wait a sec! I'm sorry. Did it hurt? Just a little. And nothing to worry about compared to you hitting your head. Still, you lost your footing from a pretty impressive stance. Took me by surprise because it happened out of nowhere. You didn't break your neck, did you? I'm fine, I think. His face was so close to mine, I couldn't look directly at him. I could feel my cheeks getting hot, too. Your face is pretty red. You're not running a fever, are you? No, it's just... This position is... Position? Tojo looked down at both of us, curious. Oh, see, it's like they have emotions, but then they don't get certain shit like this. He's not like, oh, yeah, no, sorry. He's like, what? What about it? And you're like, the awkwardness of her being so hyper aware and then being totally clueless little robots. I love it. I fucking love it. Because again, they're not like Kyoshiro is 100% a robot. The man just is 100% a robot. The rest of them all seem to have some kind of like little bits of normal human emotion. You know, again, it's not intense or anything. There's not like romantic love or anything. But your heart is like your love and your passion and things. But like you still have emotion without your heart. You know what I mean? It's not like we are emotionless and now we only have bad things. You know what I mean? So like the locking the heart away seems to be like just very intense emotions, but also they're relatively new at being people. So if you're not experiencing normal human emotions, or you're just experiencing very subtle, tiny, like just a little shot glasses full, you're not going to understand too either why this is weird. But I just love the fact that they're all like so robotic and like things like this, and it's just, oh, gotcha. Sorry, I didn't realize. Is your head okay? Like, he's totally nonchalant about it, because it's not like, he's not like a normal guy, like, oh, I didn't even realize. But is your head okay? Like, he's not trying to seduce us. He's not like, oh, yeah, whatever, because, whatever, like, I'd find you attractive. He's just like, oh, anyway. I love it. Yeah, I'm sorry. When I lifted my head, Tojo removed his hand and slowly made to get up. Right at that moment, Oh! The moment I heard Kamame's gallant cheeping, Tojo tumbled forward and fell on top of me again. Do we get the CG again? Oh! Oh my god, did he just Is this accidental kiss? Is this an accidental? I felt something soft on my lips. Oh my god. I was like, this is the perfect time for a kiss, but I was like, it's too early and that wouldn't happen. Oh, the bird! The bird shenanigans. Did you see what this bird did? Did you see what this bird did? She got angry and knocked him over. She tiny little bird. She tiny bird and she knocked him over. I'm not sure sparrows are even the size of you. You might be slightly bigger, but still, even if she's your size, she's not very big. She's a small bird. And she knocked this big-ass grown man over and, like, wingmaned him into getting a kiss. That's kind of, she didn't do it. I don't think she did on purpose, but, like, good bird. What you doing? Now you're being feisty. Now you're being an asshole, because now you're biting me. That's not nice. What the fuck are you doing? What the fuck are you doing? If you were going to get angry and feisty, you should have been reading the bird's lines. You're really bad at this. I think, you know what? It's a good thing I don't pay you. Is that why? Because I don't pay you? Don't fight the headset. I try to give you CD trees, and we give you treats. You got some bread earlier? You're not supposed to have bread, but you like bread. It's okay. It's fine. You know what I mean? But, like, is that why you don't read your lines? Because you're not getting paid enough? Is this like a protest? Because, I mean, you don't read I paid you, and you didn't read your lines. So, like, I think I'm going to have to fire you. You're going to have to get fired. No. Oh, you want petties instead? It's rude. You don't even read your lines, and you think you deserve benefits, like pets, and payment, like seeds and stuff? You're not pulling your weight around here, bird. I felt something soft on my lips. You got to enjoy the CG longer. Huh? For a second, I didn't quite comprehend what had happened. Tojo's lips were touching mine. Once I'd grasped the situation, my cheeks grew even hotter. My bad. Tojo realized right away this time and pulled himself away. Well, he's not that stupid. You might be like, oh, this position, whatever, I was just catching you. But, like, he knows what a kiss is. He's not stupid. You see, Kamami hit me in the head. Did she? She was probably, trying to deliver the finishing blow. She got you good. I was so rattled I'd responded oddly. Did we just kiss? My heart rate instantly picked up when I became aware of what just happened all over again. I knew it was just an accident. Even so, I was majorly losing my cool because it was my first ever kiss. Now wait, what do I do now? Isn't that something only couples do? Couples? I was suddenly reminded of the conversation I'd had at the tea party the other day when the ladies said we'd be a good match and I should go after him. Well, you didn't have to. The bird was like, here, I'll do it for you. I shook my head, flustered. It's not like that between us. But I'm just saying, did you take notes? Did you see what that bird did? That bird wingman, she was like, oh, I hate this guy. I'm going to knock him in the head so he kisses my lady friend. He kisses my mommy lady. I'm just saying. We don't ever have men around, to be fair. But, like, keep an eye. Because, like, one of these days, I'm going to expect you to pull your weight and, like, knock a man into me. You know? Do you have to go potties? You look like you do. You're getting fidgety. Oh, you punk. You little punk bastard. Come on. Anyway, what they'd said and the kiss we'd shared were the catalyst that made me extremely self-conscious around him. Oh, I'm stuck on my chair. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, my God. I was convinced those kinds of things would never happen to me. There was no way I could have known it would all come crashing down around me at once. I am tangled up in all of my cords and shit. Holy shit. Oh, my God. You gotta go? You go potties, please? Thank you. Ugh. You doing okay, bird? That was odd. The weather's nice today. Yeah, that's right. Turn it around and bring back the weather, bro. Fucking funny. Oh my God. It really is. There was an awkward tension in the air. I could tell he was worried about me, which made it even more unbearable. Why'd Komame have to go and do something weird like that? I cast a resentful glare in Kamame's direction since she'd caused the mess, but the bird in question didn't seem to care at all. Chirp, chirp! She was pecking at the rice scattered on the floor rather cheerfully, probably because she'd dealt a solid blow to her arch nemesis. You embarrass me, bird! Oh, dear God. Spam calls. Ooh, chapter 5 already! Okay, so these are relatively short. Okay. Because I think, what did we say? There's 8 or 9 chapters total? I forgot. Several days had gone by since we'd last talked. Multiple Blightfall had appeared in the meantime, and to our chagrin, all of them had gotten away. Unable to come up with an effective plan, the Oniwabon had fallen far behind. Everyone felt the same sense of urgency. Next time there might be casualties. Hence, as of yesterday, I was tasked with doing inspections to proactively seek out clues about the Blightfall, in addition to gathering intel. There I was, patrolling Samurai Town with Tojo and Tominari, looking for signs a Blightfall might appear, as well as anyone who looked suspicious.
Not much foot traffic around here, is there?
Not really. Ever since Blightfall started turning up, people have been cooped up inside or have taken refuge elsewhere. Nothing's been done about the damaged mansions, so thieves might break in even when people are home. And that's why we gotta patrol the area. Really? Huh. I looked away from Tojo, who was strolling ahead of me. Ever since we'd kissed, I'd been too embarrassed to look him directly in the eye. It was just a coincidence, an accident, not something I should let bother me forever. As hard as I tried to convince myself, not letting it bother me was easier said than done. Anytime I was inadvertently reminded of the feeling of his lips touching mine, how warm they were, I was left absolutely rattled. I'm glad Tojo and I aren't on patrol alone together. We should be able to have fairly normal conversations as long as Tominari joins in. Right. I have been, or at least I think so. I peeked over at Tojo. I never gave it much thought before, but he does have a very handsome, manly face. Come to think of it, weren't the ladies at the tea party gushing about that? Looking at him was making my heart pound wildly, so I immediately averted my gaze. And now you kind of know what it's like to kiss him, but just a quick peck, so. If he were a normal man, then maybe. I stopped my train of thought there. I'm such an idiot. He's a vessel. Even if he did hold a special place in my heart, it'd just be a dead end anyway. Vessels didn't have hearts since they were born to take down Blightfall. Just because I couldn't stop thinking about him didn't mean anything would come of it. Yeah, but the slight angst of I yearn for him, but he will never love me. Yeah, he will. It's an Otome game. And so far it's been a kind of peppy one, so I'm just saying, they're not gonna rip the rug out from underneath us at the end and everybody dies and it's awful. But, it's gonna be one of those okay, special exception made. Or because isn't it they have their heart sealed so they can fight Blightfall because whatever, emotions would stop them from being able to, because they wouldn't be able to do the snow sacrament or whatever. But then it'll be no, but I'm magical, so because he fell in love with me, he's totally fine and able to fight the Blightfall still and do that. You know what I mean? It'll be something like that, and they'll be well, I guess we don't have to kill him now. Maybe I was just misinterpreting how I felt about him because I was so shaken up by her kiss. If I can't get this off my mind, it might end up interfering with our mission. That would be a huge inconvenience to everyone around me. I swept my messy emotions under the rug, mentally berating myself. I've got to pull myself together. I can't hold everyone else back at a crucial moment like this. Gotta make sure I stay out of my own head. We're just teammates. We're just co-workers. Spacey? Huh? Tojo had looked back at some point and was now staring at me with concern. You've been muttering something to yourself. What's up? Apparently, I'd been saying my thoughts out loud without even realizing it. That was close. Doesn't seem like he heard what I was saying, at least. No, as a matter of fact, I'm perfectly fine. I was so rattled I gave a very strange response.
That's a weird way of answering his question.
No, it's not. It's totally normal. Sure. And by the way, could you check whether anything over there looks like an emotional imprint to you? Oh, sure. Emotional imprints. This isn't good. I need to focus on the mission. I exhaled, then changed emotional gears. This isn't good. I need to focus on the mission. I don't see anything of the sort here. I guess it won't be easy finding leads. Sorry. I might have found a lead if I were more capable. After having that thought, I found myself apologizing. Nothing you need to apologize for. Right. No, wait. A strange silence fell over the three of us. This is so awkward. Tominari looked at Tojo and I, puzzled.
Did something happen between you two?
He didn't do anything. I responded to his question purely by reflex before I even realized what I was doing.
Huh? What didn't he do exactly?
He shouldn't kiss me, that's for sure. Crap! Slip of the tongue. Tominari was just asking if anything had happened. The way I answered is just begging for some kind of bizarre misunderstanding. I misspoke. I meant to say it was nothing. Even I could tell I was a terrible liar, or at the very least, a terminally bad actress. However,
I'm glad nothing's wrong.
to my surprise, Tominari gave up without a fight. Wait, what? Did I seriously trick him with my hammy acting? Thank God Tominari's so innocent and pure. He's just going to take your word for it. You're like, nope, nothing. Nothing's wrong, I swear to God. And he's like, take your word for it, even though you look distraught. But again, not totally in tune with emotions. Slightly, have slight things like, oh, it's nice to think we are brothers. It's a slight emotional response, but not like, but you're not in tune enough when she's like, no, I'm fine, I swear. And you're like, okay. Like, three of us continued patrolling, chatting, but not quite on the same page. All right, I know we're a little under time, but every single time we get to a scene, they're like 10 minutes long. You know what I mean? And if we keep doing this, it'll be an hour and 20 minutes. So we're a little under time. Okay, we're not really that much under time. It's like a couple minutes, but I'm going to stop here and we'll continue more next time. So I will see you guys next time. Remember to give the video a big thumbs up and subscribe to see more.